Good afternoon, evening, all my jazzy internet. I'm hearing some
Feedback straight away.
I know why. There we go. We're muted. It's fine. And once again,
No, it's still bad.
where is that from?
You will bow down to the power of Grayskull. That worked really well.
That was it. There's a horrible echo, and I can't tell where from.
Shall I turn my mic off and see what happens? Okay.
Oh, have you got the sound cancelling on those headphones turned on?
Why?
Is it picks up sound from outside?
Is that?
Turn the headphones off.
How do you turn them off? I know what it is. It's my computer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jim. Solved it now.
Oh, 10 years. 10 years I was the technical manager of a theatre. Oh, now your mic's muted.
There we go. Let's try this.
Like, before, it was all useless during the pandemic when everyone's like, oh, they're talking over each other and oh, my internet connection. Now you put us in a room with technology, we still can't do it.
Oh, God's sake. Oh, officially, right. We're going to restart this. We'll be back in a second. Right, let's start this show again. So, hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning in the world, the internet. The two idiots are here, it seems.
If I speak, am I going to say? Did anyone who listened to the first bit like my Power of Grayskull with the echo? There we go.
God's sakes.
I really enjoyed that. Mike brought like headphones, and now we genuinely have like monitors, and so I feel like I can understand when I'm being quiet. I'm never quiet, but.
Yeah, quiet is not your thing, mate.
I mean, if you're
not mine either.
Those in glass houses.
Those in glass houses shatter the glass.
Yes.
But yes, so welcome to the Tech Off Topic podcast, the usual Friday madness from me and Jim, where we review random topics on the internet. And as far as I can tell, provide a little bit of a story for Matty, who then does the Data Cafe, which is the same thing like 8 hours later.
The Data Cafe.
Data Cafe. Matty is an amazing streamer. And yeah. Oh, and the first bot of the day.
Make sure that you do, and it is a bot. Make sure it is a bot. And not what you did last time, where you banned someone that was a human.
I unbanned them when I streamed later.
Did they turn up later?
No. I have been informed that one is not a person. It is
free promotion of your channel, probably in exchange for like NFTs or something. So I think we can safely say that.
Well, didn't Elon do that with Tesla and Bitcoin? So it's obviously a valid way of doing business.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't want to know. And that's as everyone could imagine, that stupid company, and I'm bored of talking about it, is on the agenda. So we've got to talk about it anyway.
No, we've got to talk about it because it is a big thing as a developer.
It is a genuine thing. Well, I'm more interested in the audience thing. So Matty's one, when it's called the Cafe, is it more sensible because they actually drink coffee?
No, well, Matty doesn't drink, so that's one reason.
So far more sensible for a start then.
Yeah, and the fact that like Matty's smarter than me, which by virtue makes him smarter than you.
I mean, it's not really difficult for either of us. A pair of talking heads. Hi, James. Claim your free monkey JPEGs at notascam.io.
Nice. But yes, so we actually do have some actual news stuff on here.
Are we not bothering with intros anymore?
Do you want to do the new intros?
I'm Jim Second, and I'm developer advocate of Vonage.
I'm Mike, and I'm just better.
That'll do. The other Twilio.
That hurts my soul because of how accurate it is.
I work for the other Twilio. Right, so we have probably our busiest agenda, I would say.
Of actual news things, not random shite that we've just found. Yes.
Which makes it, I mean, personally, I think that's going to make it less entertaining.
Oh, no, because there's definitely one on there that's ridiculous.
Is it? Oh, okay. I know what that one is. So then we have to come up with being professionals for this award-winning podcast. We have to be professionals and like put the entertaining content in the middle and the end, and the sit.
I thought we were the entertaining content.
My head has become so big. Do you want to flip a coin for? Oh, I've got presents for you just before we started. I had to. So what I have to do is, in order to get into the office, I have to drop off because I still don't drive because learning to drive is an abomination and it's taken me years, and the pandemic got in the way twice. I have to take my son in the pushchair, which is about 25 minutes up hills all around the place, and I leave the pushchair there, which means anything that comes with him, and he asks for a lot of things to be taken with him, end up in my work bag. So
I didn't know this was happening. I am now scared.
you can have a Duplo toy. There we go. And he wanted, in the first thing in the morning, going in the pushchair, he wanted good night stories and rhymes. There you go. I think there's probably a person for the Duplo thing, and I think I've lost them, so I'll get in trouble. Oh no, there you go. There you go.
To be fair, I'm not going to lie. This is probably more educational than half of the professional books I've been buying recently.
Published by. Go on, say it.
I'm not sabotaging my career.
Oh, what do you mean you're not sabotaging? Mike's been dropping an ex-employee of his that's a publisher in every single podcast, and now you're not going to.
Oh, because Pax can suck a fat one.
There we go.
Oh, no. The company. No, they're not the publishers. It's the authors that I don't want to sabotage myself with.
Oh, no. Yeah, no. I like all of them. They're all good. If you write a tech book, very good. They're all good. I have not read some blog posts in tech recently that have been almost unreadable because they've been so bad. That didn't happen. What do you want to pick first? I did a hot take last time, so I'm not going to do one this time.
All right. I'm going to ask the one that is just the general one, which actually caused a debate in the anime WhatsApp group I'm in.
Oh, this is something I'm not going to be able to comment on.
No, it is. It's the Netflix canning shared passwords.
Oh yeah, okay. No, that was.
It just happened to come up because there are certain animes on there we were talking about, and it's like, oh,
can you just? When I was reading this, I was like, are you for real? And I think like I kind of thought I misunderstood it, but I think you can correct me. What are they doing?
I think they're IP locking it. So they're monitoring the access from a specific IP, so MAC address, etc., making sure that it's all coming through the same source. And then if you don't connect to that source material in 31 days, they're going to, hello, sir. Could you verify that you own this device?
Can I get the jag?
Look at the jag.
Get the jag. Get my adenoids. My adenoids voice. So what they did before wasn't it like it was sort of, I was going to say Netflix Friends and Family, which comes from BT Friends and Family, and then everyone that's in Gen Z that's listening is like, what is he talking about? Isn't it like five devices? Or something like
that's
that?
5 devices that's still in the same network. That's 5 individual accounts that are power billed for the same process. So 5 devices, 1 account. This one is literally. You can still have 5 devices, but they must now belong to the same household.
Why are they doing it? Suicidal.
Well, no, it's not because
Isn't it?
no, because like technically the amount of people that will go, oh, but I'm still got my programs, and they'll end up just getting the extra account. So the reason I want to bring this up is because my mother,
Okay.
love me mum, she can work a smartphone like a boss.
I'm waiting for the but.
But when it comes to trying to like get shit and work on the telly and things, oh my absolute bloody days. So I have her on my Netflix in her house and all that jazz, so that I can work out what the heck's going on when she said, "Oh, something doesn't work."
The classic kind of like parental support call. The thing is, even like, so I'm now probably starting to turn into my parents. Bear in mind, my parents are in their 70s and 80s.
You are old.
Thank you. So the thing is that I got we bought a new LG TV recently because the Samsung one that we had, like, was just like when you press the button on the remote, it honestly took about 2 seconds to respond for every button press. And my son's like, put PBs on, put CBBS on, put CBBS on. You're like, I know, Alex, but you've just got to wait whilst the buttons respond. And so we got this LG, and now the user experience of smart TVs now, that's so old. But so I put the TV on, and it goes dung 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 dung. Hello, here is the LG network of TV channels that you've never heard of from Singapore that have like Takeshi's Castle on repeat. And it's going to take a while to load up that. Then here's a load of apps and crap you don't like. I just want to put on Bing. Do you know what I mean? I don't want. The only other thing I do at the moment is put on Rings of Power, which is actually good. And I'm disappointed that everyone says it's rubbish because it's good. Hot take.
That's not a hot take. That's an ignorant view.
An ignorant view. Right? I'm not going to derail this with Lord of the Rings straight off, but the user experience on these things is dreadful anyway. So, with Netflix, I'm not surprised that your mum's like, make it work.
Yeah, like because she's on an old as heck Samsung TV, and I think it's actually a UV box, one of those BT middleware boxes that actually does all the stuff for her. But I still have to do all the remote debugging, so it's easier if it's on my account and I have access to the Siri, not like version numbers and shit.
The remote debugging. That's just like setting up a code together session in like VS Code. I have to debug
that would make my life so much bloody easier. But let's put it this way: I have had to do the whole video call, like point it at the telly thing.
Oh no! On that note, this week. Talking actually, and this comes into onboarding experiences, I bought a Ring doorbell mainly because a weirdo thought someone else lived at my house and put a load of random stuff through the letterbox.
There is a weirdo living at your house. I'm looking at him.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Very funny. So we got a Ring doorbell. It's just like, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? Is your face slightly misaligned? And you're like, come on, just let. What I want it so that you press the doorbell and the internet says there you have the postman's at the door, or a freak that's not me. Don't you wish your postman was a freak? Sorry. Oh, don't let me finish that.
Stop it.
The ring onboarding experience was dreadful. It was just overbaked. It took about sort of 40 minutes, and I kept on saying almost no. I'll come back to this. Just set the thing up for me. Right. So now Netflix is like, the thing is every step that you make things harder to consume video the way that Netflix did.
Yeah.
Means that we're going around in the circle, and people will go back to the Pirate Bay.
Cable television from the late 90s.
But why would you want to do? Because that's why piracy stopped. It costs like £5 a month to sign up to this thing, and it's got not a bad selection. I'll just do that, and then I've got Amazon Prime anyway because I like giving Jeff Bezos lots of money so that he can go into space with his Space Willy, and also like deliveries arrive quickly. I'm a complete whore to capitalism. So I get Lord of the Rings thrown in, and I watched another thing on there, which was Olympus Has Fallen, and it's one of the worst films I've ever seen.
Olympus Has Fallen, is that the Chayton Tanning one?
The other one, it's someone like him.
There's two of them. There's Gerard Butler, and then there's
probably Gerard. But there's a lot. It was basically a Michael Bay explosion fest.
Oh, no,
it's absolutely useless.
Gerard Butler one, and it's like you think, oh, it's going to be great. It's got Morgan Freeman in.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. This has got Morgan Freeman in. The sound of my voice will relax you. And you're like, I'm the Mister, I'm the president. And I thought, oh, this is going to be like Patriot Games or something. And then I was like, this is rubbish.
Terrible.
This is just absolutely rubbish. But I get all these things thrown in. So Netflix is going to chuck all of that away, and everyone's going to start pirating stuff again.
Yep. Well, technically, I already have a Plex server at home, so give me a while.
Is that the one where it's like a media server that's also a VPN? Is that what it is, or is it right? Okay. I've heard it mentioned, and I haven't bothered to.
It's actually kind of crap, but the one thing it does do is offline downloads to your devices.
Good for travel.
Well, my flights to Japan are 16 hours one way with no stops.
Oh, that is just. You might even be able to sleep on that flight. I had 10 hours to Texas.
I'm gonna have to take sleeping pills and a lot of telly.
Yeah, because I can't. I took my Steam Deck on the plane. Do you know I didn't play on it once in a week. My Steam Deck, because I just thought I want to switch off. And what did I? I watched all of Picard.
I have accidentally. Yep, we're back. Sorry.
Press the right buttons, Mike.
I was trying to make a joke in chat and screwed it up for us.
Yeah, wow, but like 10 seconds too late on the punchline delivery.
Yeah.
There you go. So Netflix is screwed.
It's so they're gonna get an amount of money from everybody else, but everybody else is just gonna like, nah, bud, it's already £10 plus. I'm moving on with life.
Yeah. But also it's the same as this. I've mentioned this on Tech Off Topic before. It'll end up being the same as the market dilution with sport, where what do you like? Well, I like all sport, and in 1992 they're like, good news, Sky Sports Super Soccer Saturday Special is here, and it would have all of the things. You could watch the American football and the cricket and the rugby, and now you're like, which service even Amazon's in on it now. They've taken a chunk of rugby and a chunk of tennis. So you're like, what if I'm into golf? What I'm into cricket? What I'm into the tennis? And the answer is make sure you've got the right subscription. And so people are like, no, I'd rather not. It's all right.
To be fair though, my view on that is pub. It's the rugby tomorrow. Pub.
Oh, I have a child, so I can't watch everything from the pub.
And this is why I'm a dink.
What's a dink?
Oh, bollocks. There's an actual definition for this. I think it's dink.
What are you searching for?
Well, technically I'm not dual income, but dual income, no kids.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes. Yes, I do. I have heard this. I have heard this before, and I've heard. It went by another name under sort of mid-millennial years, and I can't remember what it was.
LD emo. All right, but yeah. So next,
my turn. Let's just get the boring one out of the way. Everyone knows about it. I posted about this on Mastodon, and like everyone didn't believe me that Space Karen has decreed that the basic tier for the API usage of Twitter is $149 for 500 API requests. So TweetDeck and Buffer,
fact.
Bye-bye. Whole business built over 10 years. Like, that's for the basic. So you can imagine how many API calls they're making. I'm going to go straight down with what Zach said about this, what Zach Powell said about this. And he said, I predict that this is all one massive Trump-style tax write-off. It is, isn't it? Because it's business-wise, that's suicidal.
Thing is, you know what? In reality, I believe that Twitter, as an organization, for all the years it's had, has had the right to have a paid tier and rate limit the free one.
Yes, a lot
business practice.
A lot of public APIs do have that, where they're like, You can build stuff and you can experiment with this. I mean, if you're going to make a business out of this, you're going to have to pay.
So cool. But you don't just go from 0 to fucking everything with a week's notice.
A week's notice is really taking the piss, isn't it?
Like, okay,
It's
so
just really...
when Twitter deprecated a whole bunch of its old APIs, they gave like 30 days and people were still pissed. Because like 30 days is for some organizations, even big organizations, not enough time to build the new thing, test it and ship it and get it in front of people.
No, I had a support request at the beginning of the week. I can't remember if I moaned about it to you. I had a support request at the beginning of the week. PHP 5.6.
Oh, yeah, you have moaned about that.
Yeah, not using Composer, no package management. Please make it work. Right. So we're going to have to go through the package management file if we want to do this and go through every single dependency and manually download them all. But then you have to look at their dependencies. No, mate. It's not happening. And that was a request that came to me like last week. If that's what that's like, can you imagine what production code is consuming the Twitter API right now? Forget about it. Forget about it. Fugazi.
And the Sopranos have entered the building.
I want to continue, but I'm not going to. And also, if you want to do it properly, you've really got to make an effort, haven't you? Otherwise, that you end up with a sort of the half-baked one. And then whoever you're speaking to goes, I didn't know they were South African. You're like, oh, that's funny. I've not heard that one before. I think you've actually made that joke to me.
But I still think Twitter has the right to make money off that interaction from a commercial perspective. But I still strongly believe that Space Karen has just fucked it.
No, but
but
he's not.
This Twitter verified thing is going to make us money, so it's devaluing actually verification. Yes,
but he knows that. He's not. You know, and I say he's not stupid. I think they're exactly the same subject we came to last time, which is like, I don't think he's stupid, because I think when people get to that level where nobody has ever said no to them their whole lives, they basically just become all their touch of reality goes. But he knows asking for a basic of 500 API requests with his hardcore engineers for $149 is just going. People are going to leave in droves. I think a lot of people are trying to be clever and speculate about it, and they're saying, well, everyone knows why they're doing it. It's so that all of the automatic integration tools for, like, I was going to say Bumble. It's not Bumble. Is it? What's the other one that steals? That's really leaky. To do with bees. I'm covered in bees.
Henry Winkler covered in bees.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, you just excellent little Nicky reference.
No, it's probably stolen from Eddie Izzard. I was talking about Eddie Izzard. I'm covered in bees. A beekeeper. I can't slide into sort of like internal jokes of like early 90s stand-up shows. Otherwise, everyone will just get lost. But everyone's saying like it's because of the automatic Mastodon switches or the other ones. And it's not.
No.
It's because he's trying to ruin his business on purpose. That's what I think.
No, I'm likely to agree with you. There we go. Anyway, yeah. So
got it out of the way. Boring. Have you got anything else to say on that? I sound like a torture, or like well, no, not like that. I sound like a teacher, don't I? Have you got anything else to say on that, Mike?
Anything else from the class?
Would you like to show the rest of the class?
Well, we've talked about Space Karen and Big Willie in space, so not really.
It's like opening it and read it out loud to the rest of the class. I think that Space Karen has got a big willy. And do you think that's big and clever? Okay.
Well, no, Bezos definitely thinks it's big and clever.
Oh, he does as well. He's another space dick. So that was my one, which means that you could probably siegeway. I like making a point of just pronouncing that wrong every time into the next one, if that's what you're going to go.
I watch too much LTT. You can't get away with that.
If you want to go for the next one, which was the what the fuck of the week,
which was the what the fuck the week,
the one below it.
No, I just want to get that one out of the way because
Another one we've just got to get out of the way. But it was, when they announced it, it was, for real?
Which one are you talking about?
The one below the Twitter one.
Yeah, which one? Because there's two in that, technically.
No, there's only one.
PayPal.
No, but you said PayPal, so I guess might as well go.
To be fair, if we're moving from Twitter, we may as well work on from where Papa Elon, Space Karen Daddy, came from. You know, the proof that hair plugs can change a man. God. Yeah, so PayPal have laid off 2,000 people across their organization. All right, cool. As far as I can tell, Tech Off Topic is that we always have to mention at least one set of layoffs.
I mean, yes. It's almost like I feel it's terrible because these are affecting people that I know. Be like, what? I mean, when it started, we were like trying to like, well, this is a talking point, and then what about this and the direct? And now this is like there is no direct. We know what the direction is, so now we're just talking about people that are unfortunate being laid off, which is pretty terrible.
However, I'm going to follow this by Pinterest made the announcement that they're laying off 150 people. Who cares if you're not Bridezilla?
I'm going to, in the interests of D&I, I'm going to have to pull you up on the only brides go on Pinterest. Of the people I'm using it for interior design right now.
Are you?
Yes. It's a scrapbook thing. It's useful. It's useful for lots of things.
So it's also the fact that like they're laying off 150 people.
I think laying off 150 people out of a company that's I've got to find out now.
I was about to say either Pinterest is a tiny organization or as a lot like companies lay off small parts of businesses all the flipping time.
Yeah, yeah. There's 3,225 employees. Laying off 150 people seems to be very much sticking your oar in, saying, "Well, we're doing it too."
Yeah.
Why don't you just not say anything?
It's just,
and then if someone picks up and says, "I can't believe Pinterest thought they could get away with firing 150 people," stick PR up and then say, "Well, yes," and you can come up with it. That's what PR people are for, not for people like you and me. We're like the opposite of that.
Literally our jobs.
Big mouths, but no, that's true. In a professional capacity, usually very good at it. When on our own podcast,
maybe not so much.
Hashtag no filter.
Hashtag no fucks.
I swore last week, about twice, I think.
But yeah, like okay, so the PayPal layoffs are bad. There's also been a couple of other organizations letting off a whole bunch more people, all that jazz. But it's just like, and Pinterest with 150 people, it's just that's like anticlimactic.
Yeah. Although if that's worked out by Sociable Steve, it's about 4%, which is
actually
that's noteworthy. Actually,
yeah, it's like 12% from Microsoft, which was a.
Oh, yeah, well, it's silly though, wasn't it? I mean, it's Microsoft for you.
However, I like the fact that the analysts now have put out information. It's all starting to make sense. They laid off that many people, not because the company's in trouble, but they need access to that much capital to, I'm going to segue us onto another point, the extra investment into OpenAPI. Oh. Okay. According to the analysts, the reason they laid off that many people was to free up that much forward cash to make the investment. Which, weirdly enough, it's like, okay, that makes sense. You're not laying off because the business is going down the tank or you're worried about something terrible. It's like,
well, it's Microsoft. Look at their figures. You know, what are they? They're not worried about anything.
Yeah, but laying off, what was it? One of the analysts I saw was like those 12,000 people based upon the distribution mainly in North America. That's something like I think it was like $18 million. It just frees up over 12 months.
So yeah, what you're saying is that if you know a Sarah Connor, get chummy quick. I wonder if they're like how many legal entities. I'm going to go onto Companies House and see how many companies are called Skynet.
Oh God.
This is also the radio silence time is an indication of how fast the UX process is on Company's House. Okay. Skynet Limited, Loughborough.
You know what? I never thought the apocalypse would come from the East Midlands.
So, actually, this is quite good. The first two results, there's Skynet Limited in Loughborough, and the next result is Skynet Mega, and they're in the Seychelles. So that's probably some tax avoidance scheme. That's Nadeem Swai, this 3.5 million quid that he thought he could pay back to the tax people without being noticed. And the rest of them are all Spain and the Netherlands. But really Skynet itself, Skynet Limited, is in Loughborough on Prince William Road. I wonder what they do.
But yeah, so Microsoft's paying a buck. I do love how the tech press have gone, oh my God, they're buying ChatGPT. No, they're flipping not. They're investing in the parent company behind it, OpenAI. Fuck, I'm spending too long in front of spec files for the last week. So that they can replace Bing's terrible search and things like that. It actually makes bloody sense.
I mean,
if you can't make it, buy it.
I don't. That's the motto of so many companies. I don't.
I thought it was "Don't be evil."
I don't. Wasn't that Google's thing? Don't be evil.
2018.
Do you know? I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but in Huell's Engineering HQ in Birmingham. That's right, everybody. You heard that right. The Huell Engineering HQ is in Birmingham. Do you know they've got a massive decal that says "Don't be a dick"? Just
Phil Sturgeon would be proud.
There's that the kind of thing. Actually, do you know one of our team, Chuck Reeves, is over in the UK at the moment, and he gave me He asked for recommendations of where to go.
Really?
Chuck's gonna kill me for this, and his wife said, "Well, I really like the White Cliffs of Dover." And he sent me a message and said, "Jim, I don't know what it's like. Should I go to Dover?" And I was like, "No, mate, don't do that." White Cliffs, yes. Dover, the town, highest teen pregnancy rate in the UK. Don't go there. Oh,
for God's sakes.
How did I get onto Dover? Oh, yeah. So I said, what are you doing? And the first thing I was bear in mind that Chuck is our Node.js dev, right? And honestly, he is the worst JS dev ever. He said, I'm going up next weekend. I'm going up on the train to some place I've never heard of called, it's Hebden Bridge by Hexham in Northumberland, and going to plant trees with Phil Sturgeon. Chuck is the least JavaScript person ever. He's basically a PHP person in disguise.
To be fair, that's how most JavaScript engineers are born.
They've known the pain and they still think it's terrible. It's not terrible anymore.
It's not good either.
I've seen terrible code in lots of languages.
Programming languages, the entire idea, they give you enough rope to hang it, even when the compiler screams.
Well, the trick is don't use something that uses a compiler. One of our articles by Michael Crump this week, I had to review it, and it was a nostalgic joy. Get an Excel spreadsheet, put a load of numbers and some text in, get VBA to pull in the Vonage library and send them. So I was looking at VBA and I was like, man, I've not seen this code for a long time. Oh, does your Beerbot work?
I'm going to go with no.
No. I think you were bored of me talking about VBA, so I'm going to check to see if my Beerbot works. And it doesn't work.
I'm not surprised it doesn't work. I built it.
There we go. You've owned it. There we go. That's fair enough.
That's the reason why the stream I'll be doing later is called Building with Beer and Breaking Things Again.
Breaking things with beer.
Don't start. My mod will love that.
You have a mod. You have a person mod.
Yes. They're called Steffi. They are the mods of mods on Twitch.
Is this part of the sort of the claw thing?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it definitely is a mod that mods pretty much every person in the claw.
Oh, okay. So
And yet she won't stream, but she will mod and poke fun at everybody.
So she hasn't she hasn't banned me from presenting yet. That's a good sign. I like that.
How in the hell did I just wear my beer?
Wearing your beer. Where did we get to?
Oh, so we covered Chat GPT Open API thing.
Oh no, the nonsense. I mean, we got to Phil Sturgeon planting trees.
Oh, that was because Don't Be a Dick.
Don't be a dick. Yeah.
Which is the Don't Be a Dick license, which has been around for how long?
Early PHP Fig, Friends of Symphony. I can't even remember. Like 2012, 2011.
I think it was about 2010, mate.
Oh dear. All right. Before then. So that's yeah. What's since using monitors where we can hear ourselves.
Yeah.
Don't sip the beer right next to the. It sounds horrible. Oh. You know, how do like Foley Room people do it? That's what I don't get. You know, he's like make it. What I remember from there was I think I've mentioned this before. There was when you bought Myst, the video game.
Yeah.
There was a small QuickTime video if you put it into your Mac, and it was the making of Myst, and it was about like 6 minutes long. And they had an interview with the audio engineer, and he's like, when you're in the stone ship age or something, the one with the ship, and you go underwater for a bit or something like that, they had to make bubble noises. And there's like a short video of them with a big tube, sticking the tube down the toilet, and then someone holding a boom mic over the top of it and blowing bubbles down the toilet. Because they were like, okay, the bubbles made the best noises for it, man. What you hear actually bubbles in a toilet. It's great. I love Foley Room stuff. Must be so like, you know, when you hear like they make squelching noises, and you're like, what is that? And they explain it, and it's like, you know, pig's liver being splattered with sand or something.
Blech.
Blech. You're next.
No, I could. I dragged in 2 in a row.
2 in a row. So
Segways.
you've done Microsoft is doubling down on OpenAI, and I've covered the fact that I got a Ring doorbell and the onboarding was terrible, and that was the only. Well, the actual words are this is how much quality we put in the agenda. I put down I got a Ring doorbell. The onboarding was shit. That was my topic. That's the only topic I put in there.
Technically, I put better effort in.
Normally I do, but this time I got lazy and you did it all. I've not looked at this, and I shudder when I see this person's word, mainly because of their attachment to the B word, which we don't discuss. James Dyson has made headphones. I don't know what this is, and I haven't
looked at it.
Has made a pair of headphones with an air purifier.
Open the image. Open it.
So before I open the image, I don't understand how does headphones mix with air purifier? The two things have no relation to each other.
No, they don't.
So what does it do then?
It's a pair of headphones with an air purifier plugged on the front. It's like the world's worst Daft Punk headset ever.
What's that? Apparently, this is
6 years and 500 prototypes it took to create essentially what looks like a ball gag with a headphone built in.
It's
and you're never going to be able to get that image out of your head now.
No, because what I thought of is like, as soon as you said ball gag, I thought, yeah, apart from the big headphone bits, shades of Pulp Fiction going on here.
Even though it's like, does somebody want to cosplay as Tom Hardy's Bane?
That's what it is, isn't it? So what you do is you put the headphones on and look like, and presumably then it alters your voice as well to be a Bane stroke Daft Punk stroke.
And I like the fact that I can breathe easily in London town.
I can't. It's been so long since I watched it because I've only watched them once, so I should be able to pull out a Bane impression off the bat, but I can't.
Oh, that's the best I can do when it comes to Tom Hardy's Bane.
Something like that.
But yeah, like
so you wear the headphones, and then also, this is the result of over a decade of air quality research. I'm sure that I thought it was James Dyson.
Jake is his son.
Okay, I thought from the picture it was still him because his son clearly looks like him, or is that his dad wearing him? I don't know. I don't care. So maybe these people, maybe Dyson will have the last laugh when it's like we've basically entered the London cyberpunk era and everyone's wearing these, and Dyson's sitting on the Dyson dynasty are sitting on a gold throne because they invented the air purifier first. Is that what's going to happen? I constructed this first, so I am rich. You have to do it like that. It's the same voice, but with you muffled, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, now I can pretend to be Darth Vader whilst having fresh air blown into my nose. Next step, scuba gear.
Is it what? Is it Wall-E when 3/4 of the film you actually meet the humans and they're basically like slugs? Oh no, okay. That's your prerogative to call yourself that. They didn't do anything. Is that like this with your air purifier blowing fresh air into you?
Do I need to breathe anymore, or can it do it for me? Who needs an autonomic response?
I'm desperate to know how much cash money this is going to cost. There's no indication of how much this is going to cost. A lot of money, I presume.
I am I don't know.
But there are kind of like. Oh, I don't know. The thing is, the promo picture, and it all boils down to marketing. The promo picture is in London, and
have you ever
there is a valid
in Bristol.
There's a valid point in chat is that the market may be aimed for places like China and Japan, where, especially in Japan, where there's the sort of the mask culture already exists, and China as well existed in the first place, and you could probably chuck India into the mix there, where living in even like Brazil or something like that, in like the middle of Sao Paulo or Hyderabad or New Delhi or whatever is, any of the supposed backwater Chinese cities you've never heard of, but yet have a population of 15 million people, which is just absolutely insane.
We're just going to go to Shenzhen. Where's that? They make all of the phones you've ever owned.
Where's that? It sounds like is it like some silly Chinese village full of peasants? Here is a picture of it. Oh, that looks like New York. That's basically like half of China now. So that's a fair point. That is a fair point. It might not be designed for our market at all.
I know, but it's just because Dyson, like anything Dyson makes, because they didn't they make a robot vacuum a few years ago?
I don't know about this. Since Brexit stuff, and if we're talking about that, I have like zero interest in anything they have to say about anything other than here is a hairdryer. It's going to cost you your 3 of your unborn children.
Right. So they made the Dyson 360 Purist.
Do you know it should be shaped like a dog, like the dog in Chrono Trigger. It should be like that, like a robot Hoover dog.
Take a wild stab at how much it was, because it had a 3D camera on top of it, like one of those Samsung 3D cameras, and that's how it did all its visual mapping. Take a wild stab.
700 quid?
899 quid and 99 pence. Oh. For those of you who work in freedom units, that's over $1,000.
Freedom unit, freedom fries. Yeah. Who's buying that?
The same people who unfortunately buy top spec Macs.
I thought you were going to say Top Gear mag. You mentioned Top Gear Mag last time, and I found that
that was going down a rant on flipping Clarkson.
incredibly funny. But then, having said that, after your manager came back from San Francisco and then said, "By the way, do you realize when you go around San Francisco, like a third of the city are like people in their cars doing that, and the cars are actually driving yourselves?" You're like, no, why? Drive the car, be safe. Computer, but you've seen what JavaScript can do. Like, no, don't put that in charge.
I've seen what. To be fair,
You're about to say you see what PHP can do when JavaScript is like some of it is miles worth.
No, I was actually going to say I've seen what people have done with some programming languages, aka dangerous things with JavaScript inside of WASM inside of Rust. Or the best one I've heard of recently, compiling PHP inside of Caddy.
Oh, that was you've already moaned about that. We had a whole segment on Franken PHP, didn't we?
Yes.
It's fast.
No,
it's a you don't have to worry about what it's coding in. It's a new runtime engine and it's fast. It's good. Oh, do you want to be famous? Improve your stream by clicking this not at all dodgy looking link.
Anyway, right.
Oh, there's multiple people there as well.
I know.
I'm not. I want to right. Can we be more optimistic for the next point? Because like the last of the chat room of like, basically it's all we're going to Mad Max territory, and we're all going to be like, make sure you buy one of Jake Dyson's things because we're all going to be breathing poison otherwise, and you'll die. It's like it's Friday. Come on, let's just
it's Friday. I'm still going to be a cynical piece of shit.
Fair enough. You are. I picked Dyson.
Right. Okay, this is because I actually want your take on it. Netlify buying Gatsby.
It was always going to happen, wasn't it?
What, specifically buying Gatsby?
No. As in it coming up on the podcast.
Yes. I'm really curious about this one because Gatsby has been, so it's an open source framework for those who are not aware for building static websites. I believe you went for a phase of looking into it as for documentation years ago.
I've done it. I've used it twice. It was my personal site, and then I was considering it for API documentation for a startup that I was working at.
Yeah, and I've only ever used it as a toy, like, let's try this versus Jekyll. Let's do it in JavaScript. Let's do it in Ruby. Who cares? Yeah.
Plus, you're not really writing much Ruby anyway, right?
No.
So
I'm also terrible at Ruby. I'm sorry, auto magical stuff. No.
Yeah. Well, I think that's. I can't complain about it because that's about 3/4 of my job is untangling magic. So, because that's how we roll. It's magic.
Yep. You're a wizard, Jimmy.
Where is this? What cache is this coming out of in Drupal? It's magic. There are no. I have checked all of the caches. There are none left. Like I said, magic. What my reaction when I read this was, what the fuck? What was yours?
Mine was all right. I think I get this, but why?
But like that. Well, I can't remember what it's from. There's a meme, and it's I can't remember who it is. Someone famous, and it's in a it's like Scrubs or something. I think it is Scrubs. But why?
But no, right. So obviously, Next.js is owned by Vercel. Well, not owned by, but massively supported by it. But I know Netlify has a big hand in Nuxt.
Yes, which I think is a Vue thing, isn't it?
Yeah. So they're already invested in the Vue thing. Why would they then go on to Gatsby as well? Because at this point, you're just going to disappoint more people.
At this stage, considering how much they offer in their free tier,
yeah,
how much of Netlify is still just VC runway? Is it just that, or are they turning over money yet? Because I don't know the answer to that.
It's Ryan Reynolds in How Did Kumar Go to White Castle?
That's Ryan Red. Oh, is it that? Is it Harold? God, I haven't seen that for years.
I saw the Christmas one on a flight earlier. I didn't even know they had a freaking Christmas movie.
There's quite a few of them, isn't there? But why? This is just like James has just put in the chat, and this is like classic JavaScript world of like, I reckon Gatsby's been bought for Valhalla. What the hell is that?
My brain just went Valhalla.
Why
I
do you
didn't
keep on-
realize the Hall of the Damned was here.
It's where you get React, and you put it on a server in a box, and then you put it in a small ship and push it into a fjord and fire arrows at it till it goes on fire, and that's how it compiles on fire in the fjords.
So they've got Gatsby so they can have Valhalla. At some point, Odin's going to come down and blast them.
just because, and that's mainly because Vite or Vite. What is it? Which one is it? Vite.
Veet. I've only ever heard people
Vite.
pronounce it as
It's
Veet.
got a lightning bolt, so they're like, let's use something where Odin's thing.
Odin's Ravens.
Odin's bait.
No, if it's lightning, that's Thor.
You know your Norse gods far better than I do. Yeah, okay, it's that one. It's the squiggly lines with
Actually,
the.
that one is a representation of Thor.
Okay. For anyone who doesn't know, Mike's pointing at his tattoos, and they look like nerd things, and I don't know what they mean.
Hi, I'm a nerd. How are you doing?
How you doing? That's just pathetic doing a Joey impression.
yeah,
no one
right.
wants to do that.
So I've already got a talk lined up about this. I don't know if we're going to deliver it, which is Jamstack is going to hell.
Okay.
That's the title of the talk. The reason for the talk is because we're already getting to the point now. So the Jamstack, you know what that is?
Yeah.
For those of you who are unaware, it's essentially where you have JavaScript front ends, which are completely decoupled from a back end, and it's all done via API and contracts to actually manage a workflow in an application. That's an idea that's flipping wonderful. Have some of your APIs on serverless. Have a Docker container running a Django, and it all talks to a common front end. Fantastic. Hang on, but what if all the vendors are all starting to control all the tools and then starting to define your entire stack so that you pay them all the money?
Well,
so we're going to use Next.js because then the APIs get built by Vercel and we don't have to do anything.
Well, I mean, you say that, and then I realised that James's point in the chat on Valhalla was exactly that, because I've just looked at what it is.
Okay, what's Valhalla?
It's a centralized data layer for all of your apps. Are you using Drupal? Are you using WordPress? Are you using Shopify? Then we have the data layer for you. Right. So our data layer is now owned by Netlify. And they'd start, to be fair, the last time that I got into more modern version, like more modern technologies of CMS, it was looking between Contentful and Netlify CMS. So for
Both
them
of
to
ridiculous expensive.
Contentful was amazing.
Still really
But
expensive.
it's going to cost you money. Nothing's free unless it's really free, in which case you're the product.
Here we go. What happened to not being cynical?
But you are user number 5, please, which means that you're a tester, and that's why you get it free. So this does make sense. I mean, purchasing the whole of Gatsby as an organization only for its content handling layer, that's effectively some sort of glorified service discovery versus like data transfer objects somewhere in the middle of all of that. That's expensive. That's expensive. I mean, Gatsby itself, I don't know if it's changed in previous versions, but when I used it, the compiling in Webpack was trash. It was awful.
To be fair, since then there has now been like a major version of Webpack and a bunch of things like Turbo to replace Webpack.
So when you say there's turbo, is it a proper turbo or is it like the turbo on your 386 PC in 1994?
No. Turbo,
My copy of Doom is running slow. I'm going to press the turbo button.
Turbo Pack is a almost drop-in replacement for Webpack, and if I remember correctly, it's built on Rust as a redunculously quick transpilation layer.
I can't keep up with this. I just can't keep up with it. Right, so now we have Webpack, but it's called something different, and it's actually built in Rust. And,
yes,
but I thought in 2009 when it came out as a PHP dev, and all the Node devs were like, "Oh, non-blocking I/O." Apparently, that was going to be the fastest thing, and everything else was going to be legacy.
it was for about a year.
And then they found the same problems that everyone else fixed, and they're like, why don't we get all of our like backend JS towards microservices? That will work. Oh no, that's also very different and very difficult in different ways.
I've heard of shifting the problem as the way to solve the problem. No, it just makes it somebody else's problem.
What does shift left mean? What does it mean? I keep on hearing this all the time, and I feel really bad because like Luke did a whole talk of this at Fusion, and I do remember lots of it, and it was really a really good talk. But the only thing I couldn't remember because it was a generic phrase was, what does shift left mean?
Shift left and shift right are a core testing concept of the agile DevOps methodology.
It's one of those. It's the book of DevOps. It's the DevOps philosophy.
Considering you've never done DevOps in your life, shush.
I sort of know some of it, but what is it? What is it?
I know the words.
DevOps Bible.
I can magic alakazam DevOps.
Thou shalt choose pipelines. I don't really know how it works.
Monty Python stuff.
There are some who call me Circle. So I don't like
award-winning podcast, everybody.
Also for anyone that's listening on Spotify, just so you know, it doesn't have video. This is the same. We're in the same studio this time as the chair sacrificed for content incident, where Mike somehow. What did I say? I made you laugh, and then you cracked a chair and fell off it.
No, you made me laugh, and then I leant into a Naruto run for emphasis.
The Naruto
and
running.
Then fell off.
Naruto running. Oh, I want I want them back. The people that did the what was it, Storm Area 51? I want that back. It was so funny. Like, there you go, running through the air. DevOps, SecOps, DevSecOps, DevRel, SecOps,
Your ops, my ops, your.
To me, to you, when I went to, I think I mentioned this before. When I went to interview with Sneak, and I got invited to their conference, and their conference was called DevSecOps Con or something, and I was like, oh man, I think nobody got time for that. It's like how many words are we going to add onto there? Where's performance? PorfCon.
No, Perf.
DevSec Perf.
And the horrible thing is, are you saying perv?
Also, like I'd assume in our role that we're supposed to be de-jargon things, and this seems to be increasing it.
You de-jargon by adding acronyms to everything.
But then when you write an article, you just make sure that you put it at the beginning. Gym as a service. I love that. DevHops, SecOps. A line of beers, DevHops.
SecOps.
SecOps for me, hopefully. No, that's, well, unless you've trademarked it.
Hellraiser's made a great idea there.
Thing is, DevHops, beer, sell it at mainly only JavaScript, possibly KubeCon. Done. Hipsters. We went actually. Mike on the way. Mike insisted on going for a coffee on the edge of the Jewelry Quarter, and it was called, I don't know, what was it? Quarter Horse. You know,
Quarter Horse has been a coffee shop in the city for like 9 years.
Sure. And there were
Coffee you have at Roberto's is from Quarter Horse.
I don't, here's the neat part. I don't drink the coffee at Roberto's bar. I drink the beer. That's why I go there. But there was like I walked in and it was I just thought, oh, this is like 2009 all over here, and I've been there and done this. And it was like walking into a chunk of Shoreditch in 2010. And there was like 3 people. One of them had a handlebar mustache, sitting down at not really tables, just sitting down. It's really narrow as well, and just with their really small laptops. And I was like, this is history repeating. It's hilarious.
To be fair, that is the Quarter Horse Espresso Bar.
The espresso bar. I'll have a give me a double shot of monkey poo 49 coffee.
Circular jokes.
Oh,
the one thing I can't seem to execute, the callback joke.
Oh,
thanks Eli and Jim for that. Wherever Eli is these days.
Hopefully watching at some point.
Yeah. Right.
We burned through topics surprisingly quickly. Oh, the actual. No, Hellraiser. It was no. That was addressed at coffee about the monkey coffee where they poo it out and
that's
they
not a monkey.
Whatever it is, I don't care.
It's called a luwak.
It's called a sausage. I don't care what it is.
It's called a sausage.
I don't cabbage coffee and it digests it.
It's
whatever.
called a luwak.
Monkey
it's in Bali. They literally walk around, eat the beans, and shit them out.
And that adds body and texture.
I have had it.
Go on.
Wouldn't recommend.
I don't understand what happened. This luwak has eaten these beans and shat them out, and the only flavor I am getting for this coffee is poo.
This coffee tastes nutty. Why is it? Why is there sweet corn in there?
It's horrible. But my point of that is I was not dissing Monkey 47 gin, which I think is a little bit overrated, but it's all right. There's going to be strong disagreements in the chat, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it. To me, it's too complicated. There's a lot going on. Also, can you can officially in chat issue your apology to Git Push Git Puff for banning them last time.
Sorry for banning you during the last podcast. I did unban you. I really am sorry about this. I apologize. Anyway, we've got one last topic before we can go off topic. Chat, feel free to drop in shite for us to give opinions, etc. on. But we've only officially got one last thing in the old doco.
In the old doco, you're trying to sound like a public school boy. Check me out in the old doco, yeah.
You can't say shit.
Me and Seb and Rupert are going to discuss it in the doco.
That literally was your school life. Shush.
Oh, I know. That's why I can do it. It doesn't allow you. You're not supposed to talk like that. What is the last one in the doc?
So the last one is one that I actually put in there because it's upset me just a little bit.
Oh, no. There's one of mine as well, but you go first.
Oh, there's one of yours. Have I missed one of yours? Oh,
yeah.
Yes. You're going to have to explain that one because
I chucked it in last minute because it annoyed me.
Amazon closing, Amazon Smile. For those of you who are not aware of what Amazon Smile is, Amazon Smile was a program where a percentage of every purchase off Amazon you made went to a charity. And I've had Amazon Smile active on my account as long as I've had an Amazon account that's been available. Now, that was fine because what would happen is it would be essentially the money they would give an Amazon affiliate, they give to charity. And I'm not against that because you know what? Bezos could do with not fucking over little people. And now that it's going away, they haven't given any. They've thought, oh, we're doing it so that we can move all our efforts to other philanthropic activities. And it's like the other ones listed in the thing are like, well, we're going to help future engineers, aka let's get some cheap labor in.
We're going to pour it back into tech for us.
Yeah, and local programs. It's like No, mate. It's officially, according to, I believe it was Cancer Research UK, who are one of the, they're like, we're going to miss out on like 800 and something £1,000 a year in charity donations, which are then matched by gift aid. And I'm like, this is actually shit.
It's pretty. I didn't know about. I didn't know. I did know about this scheme, but also every time Bezos or Amazon do something philanthropic, a word that I can't stand, every time they make a move, I pick up Private Eye magazine and it's in there, and it's exactly like, here is the breakdown of how much the tax write-off is, and you just think, can you fuckers be nice once? Can you just do one good thing for humanity?
Like, Amazon Smile was like something they didn't even have to put a lot of bloody effort into, because you as a user actually have to dictate where the money goes to. So it's like, so I had mine previously set up to Cancer UK, and then after my brother passed, I had it set up to epilepsy.
But we don't. But that means that you get to pick. We don't want you to pick. Oh, it's real worst timeline stuff, isn't it? Oh God, awful.
We will help people that will help us.
There's a lot of, if you're going to do this sort of benevolent sort of philanthropy stuff and hark back to the kind of late Victorians, like Amazon disaster relief. They have a disaster relief team where you're just like, this is the wrong. Why are corporations responsible for disaster relief? This is not what it should be at all.
Well, the corporations are responsible for it because they're the only people that can afford to fix it.
Well, yeah, and enabling them to, like, why have you chosen to help this disaster and not the other one? We're a private company. We don't have to give you an answer on that.
To be fair, there's an old movie. It's a terrible movie, and I'm one of the few people who actually really like it because I have a penchant for terrible films. And it's a film called Mutant Chronicles, starring Aaron Eckhart and Ron Perlman. You know, the man with the chin.
Man with the chin. I have heard of this film.
You have?
I have, yeah.
And
but I like bad films as well. So
I shall lend you the DVD.
Thank you. But bear in mind that if it tops either The Room or Sharktopus, then, you know.
It's weirdly enough, the CGI is slightly worse, but the story is slightly better. The idea is, and this is a dystopian thing where governments are being replaced by corporations, and now they're all trying to fight off the zombies before going to fucking hell.
I mean, the last two parts, you could arguably say we're beginning to be at that stage.
Yep.
When we talk about zombies, did I mention this last time that I couldn't get into my local Aldi supermarket in the morning because Muppets had queued outside to get an energy drink? Did I mention this last time?
What?
It's called something like, I must have mentioned this last time we did it about 2 weeks ago.
It's been longer than 2 weeks since the podcast, mate.
Well, the last one we did, I still think I mentioned it. It's called, I think it's ironically called Prime, actually. It's a little Prime energy drink.
One like KSI and shitbag Logan Paul.
Dave Smith, whatever.
Influencer wank stains.
What does it mean? It's just like Nathan Barley, isn't it? You know, I'm a self-facilitating media node. What are you? What do you do? I'm an influencer. Influencing what? Well, I tell people to buy stuff.
According to some people, me and you are tech influencers. Thanks, Maria.
I suppose we're supposed to be, but we're sort of. I only see it as setting an example somewhat.
I don't think I'm a tech influencer in it at all. All I think is we're meant to help educate people and get people to use our products, hopefully.
I still only do that. And the outreach part of it is just to do and also I like hosting stuff. It's not a fun job, especially when you get trolls like Mike, but I still do it.
I am a very supportive troll. Thank you very much. I hold up the bridge.
A supportive troll. I'm a troll, but the good kind.
Have I not supported your career transition into DevRel?
I mean,
have I poked fun at you the entire way?
Yes. I've had several people supporting me on the way to it, and your trolling is the most positive bit out of it I've got. The person that mentored me into it doesn't even want to know that they mentored me into it. They've cut off all ties, so I'm like, okay, whatever. Oh dear.
On a happier topic, you're going to have to flip and explain this 2-word remark in the doc. Literally, it just says 2 words.
I think we're gonna have to add a new section of the podcast because of last time with my newsletters or whatever. I think we're gonna have to like, instead of the roller ball or whatever, what was it? The predictable. We're gonna have to do Jim's hot take.
Oh, is this a hot take?
Not really. I don't think he's gonna make me any friends, but I don't understand. It's no. It's not hot. Again, like last time, it's not a hot take. It's a
lukewarm take.
It's a this feels a bit rubbish. Please don't copy what this is, because I don't understand it. So for I like stringing things along, because that's otherwise for content. Don't. Yeah, man, you just wrecked his content. I put Jamstack Man in there.
All right, explain.
That's all it says is Jamstack Man. It's so. Actually, it should say it's not. That's not semantically correct. It should be Jamstack Jam Man. Right. So, what I did, I saw this happening on my Twitter timeline a lot. Have you noticed your ads are like real wacky now? They're just all sorts of random crap. Since since Space Karen did the whatever,
I can happily state that I've been offered timeshares as well as yes.
Just look at it and go, no targeting is happening here. This is just like, hey, are you over 65 and are you living in Argentina? No. Well done.
Congratulations on not making a poor choice.
So one of the things that popped up is I only got one tech ad, and it was like, what is this? And it was an advert for a podcast. So I can't slate it. I'm going to slate it. But and it was called Jamstack Jam. And there was this big picture on it of this man's face, and it was really close up and in your face and happy. And I was like, I just saw it once and just, that's an advert. That's an advert, that's fine. And I scrolled down, and there his face was again. JavaScript, Jamstack, hello, Jamstack, hello. I just thought, what is this? And then about 2 days later, I scrolled down, Jamstack, hello. And I thought, why do I keep on getting this? Eventually I blocked it. And then I just thought none of it. And then, what's her name? She with Alistair, she co-ran and co-runs DevOps Days Birmingham. She's German. And it's something.
Yeah.
Oh God, sorry, forgotten your name. And she just posted up and said, and did a screenshot of the Jamstack Jam Man, and just said, has anybody else seen this man on their timeline constantly appearing? What is this? Who is this person? I don't know who this person is. And I thought, oh, that's really weird. So at the end of the day, it's just a paid-for advert.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, so what is it? And I went on to Jamstack Jam, and they had like 150 followers, and they put out a weekly podcast, which I think was on Twitter Spaces or something. And there he was, and he was doing he was hosting it. That you have to be very careful here because of like sound quality. The only thing here is, remember that Mike and I do this for
shits and giggles.
Some that you have to do some of the personal branding of like like what you can talk about with tech, but most of it is just apps. Is as you've described before. This is the chats we have in the pub, and it's just on here, and we're doing it really for our own enjoyment. You get to put it out on the podcast, but it's not. There's no serious stuff behind it. The Jamstack Jam, I can see the focus of it, and it's big personal brand stuff, and it's real, like trying to build an empire of a podcast to make it like Late Night Linux or to make it like Bad Voltage or something like that.
Oh, is this person trying to become James Quick?
It's like the big host, and like it was cack. It was absolutely unlistenable. It was like 154. How much money have you paid to advertise on Twitter and spamming devs all over the world on Twitter for this absolute cack?
I will never pay for an ounce of sponsorship for this podcast because you know what? It's the pub chat for me and you. We just get to justify it as a wider part of our job.
Yeah, as soon as business comes into it, that's where it becomes. I'm going to be a little bit more judgmental now that there's business involved. That's where I.
The moment you go, business
people, because we are business people.
We are professionals.
I'm a professional. Can I find this? Can I find?
I think I may have blocked him. So
I'm going to see if I can see if I. I feel really bad with these things because this is the second time now, but this is like someone's actual personal ambition and of what they want to do, and I think this is really bad of me because I'm basically dunking on someone, so I feel really bad for it. I can't even find them on Twitter. Is it even going still? Has it not even lasted? That advertising campaign. I can't find it. I reckon it's gone.
Probably realised it wasn't worth the pennies.
What a shame that I can't find it anyway. This is more of a Jim like one-sided thing about it. So I want Mike to just say more. Can you give us more kind of like insight about this nonsense I'm going on about?
I'm waiting for you to give more insight.
No, I'm waiting for you to give insight.
On what? A bloke running a half-assed podcast on Spaces and become a tech celebrity on the interwebs?
Yeah.
I think that's self-explanatory with that one line.
I'll just, yeah. There's I think the hot take part of it is a bit. That's a bit. Again, it's not a hot take. Is I'm starting to get inquiries and starting to hear from a lot of people starting out in developer relations, and they're like, that's the path I want to. What can I do to do what you do? And first of all, that isn't what I do at all. And this is like, in content-wise, this is nothing like that at all.
I'm not going to lie. Mine and yours passed into DevRel, even though there was a significant difference in time in which we did it. Mine was...
I'm old.
Well, no, mine was in 2013 and yours was 2016, 17.
Into DevRel. Really, when I started the PHP user group, which was 2017.
2017. So, like, there's about a 4-year gap between. I got into it because I went to a fuckload of hackathons and started running my own events.
I got it to because I went into the PHP meetups and then I started going to DevOps meetups.
Yeah,
and that was it, really.
And that, you know what, that worked back then. Now, entering the career, it's the same thing as anything. You've got to look like you do the job. And the easiest and quickest way is internet fame of some sort.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the good way, but it is the quick way. If you want to be recognized as a person of interest for, I don't know, X framework, literally X framework.
Oh, yes. I was about to say, what's that? That's in PHP land. I should know that straight away.
It's the one I'm currently researching.
Okay. Because I told you to.
Yes.
My brain's a bit of a mess at the moment.
Well, if you want to be recognized for it, the quickest way, build a plugin, make it popular, or become a contributor.
Yep.
At which point, becoming a contributor means doing solid engineering and putting a lot of effort. Which is easier out of those two options? Making a popular, like a literal populist plugin, doesn't have to do a lot, just has to be popular and everywhere. Or becoming somebody who does good work at the base.
Yeah, I think I don't know. It feels like a lot of that part of the industry. If you're in engineering and you see this as like a sort of this is the direction I want to go in, is like, I think you got to ask like why and how, because I'm in this mainly to help people and then to get on stage and educate people and get like introducing a podcast when you were not known before. I mean, there was another. We haven't even had time to dissect this, but I sent you messages on it, basically outlining the situation. But someone did the same within Developer Relations itself, and then tried to get.
Let's not talk about that one.
I can make it easily anonymous, but basically try to get a lot of money to send them somewhere, and everyone said no, that's not how it works. But this fame thing with tech is just it's awful. I don't get it at all.
In every industry on the world,
we live
on
the disc world.
Pardon?
On the disc world.
Oh, rip Terry.
Do you know there is a car that parks down the road from my house, and I didn't. I'm sure I've done this before, because I've done this on one of the really early podcasts, because I didn't know about it, which was the GNU Pratchett thing, where someone. Have you heard of this? Because I hadn't. My brother told me about it. On someone's vehicle registration, it's actually got underneath it whatever that is, that thing that was named after Terry Pratchett, where it's a joke on Stallman's thing becoming everyone's problem, like a virus of licensing, but someone's got it on their car, and I didn't spot it. And then as soon as like my brother told me about it, someone's car had it on. What's it called again?
I don't remember. I do remember you talking about this, but I don't remember.
That's how you know that I'm genuine when it comes to the stories, is that like I repeat myself. So this podcast is going to be dreadful in about 2 years.
That's fine. That's why we have guests. Fresh meat for the grinder.
Do you remember Netlify bought Gatsby? Do you remember that?
Down, Johnny.
What's that?
Vegas.
Oh God! Oh, actually, I wasn't actually trying to be Johnny Vegas, and I ended up being Johnny Vegas. GNU Terry Pratchett. There we go. He's got a whole load of it. Where's the PHP thing? There it is. PHP script. X-Clacks overhead. GNU Terry Pratchett. Oh, custom headers with Terry Pratchett's name in. I'm gonna put that in the Vonage SDK, in the PHP SDK, just because I can. I'm not going to, and if my manager is listening, I'm also not going to.
Doesn't mean I won't. I'm a teapot.
419.
I thought it was a 418.
Oh God, getting owned by HTTP headers now.
I'm literally double checking this. Oh, it's 418.
Ah, what's 419? Something boring.
Something
conflict.
Yeah, that's not as fun. Page expired.
Page expired. That's pretty boring, isn't it?
Like my career.
Right. That was the last one.
And nobody threw us a wild card to go on, so I think that's just done.
Oh man, that's like there's less trolling from the audience.
It's surprising.
The last one I got was from Hellraiser, which was Get On With It, and it was about my boring story about the man with the jam face, who I can't even find because I think he's binned whatever it was he was trying to do.
Hellraiser, just be lucky you're not listening to one of his jokes. Starting an event, it takes a while.
Oh, I don't do that anymore.
I know. Thank God.
I did one, and I did
two.
I did what? Did I do? I don't know. I did,
anyway, I think that's us done for the day, don't you?
Well, sort of, because we've got other stuff to talk. We've got other stuff to say. That we have our post mortem.
Well, to be fair, There's only really two of them. They're personal for us because a little bit of a self-branding, like Jamstack Jam Man.
Well, so the first one is about the fact that Mike's going to be speaking at DevRelCon in Japan. I reckon you should put a paid tweet out with like a close-up of your face smiling and going, "Hey, DevRelCon." That's what you should do, because that's what Jamstack Jam Man did. I feel like I'm rapping.
A plastic katana at home.
What? Okay, so be really careful with those, because do you know my eldest brother, his first wife was Japanese, and they got married in Portugal. That was hilarious because she was Japanese but couldn't speak English, and obviously he's English and couldn't speak Japanese, but they met in Barcelona. So good news, they spoke in Spanish together. And then they moved to Portugal, so then they started speaking Portuguese before they started learning each other's languages. There you go. So when they got married, the Japanese family all came over, and her, like, I don't know, cousin or brother-in-law or something, total Tokyo playboy, and arrived in full samurai gear, like not the robes and stuff, obviously not the armor. But when I say like not everything, he couldn't get through security because he literally brought the sword on. He tried to get the sword on the plane.
It's fine. Mine's plastic, and it's from an anime called Bleach.
If you try and take a plastic sword on, I think they'll be like,
"Fucking idiot."
How old are you?
35 going on 12.
Exactly. I used to have a Thunderbirds one. It was great. Thundercats one, and it was and it had like, it took one AA battery, and when you press the button in the middle of it, there was this thing in the middle, that red thing that came up, like, by the power of Grayskull.
Did you get to look? That's He-Man.
The other one, I can't remember what they are.
Thundercats is like
Thundercats. Oh,
yeah, and you get to look through it, and then suddenly you can see shit.
That was it. I got all the boy. You get hazy, and all the 90s kind of like cartoons were fairly hazy, weren't they? It was fairly sort of drug induced.
No, I was about to say I didn't have enough drugs to do that.
Yeah. Right, sorry. Mike was trying to promote his talk, and I ended up on Thundercats.
Oh no, I'm going to Yokohama to talk about streaming. Ironic.
How not to do streaming.
No, how to do streaming from the man who should not be streaming.
Ladies and gentlemen of DevRelCon, I'm Mike Elsmore, and this is how to do your tech setup for a podcast. Hey! To be fair, Mike's first problem was that I'd left my laptop thing on. I left my laptop speaker on, which is why it created the power of Grayskull thing, and now enabling me to do He-Man.
An excellent entry as well.
Can you leave that in the edit?
I'll try.
Please.
I may just no. You what? No, what? I may cut it and put it at the end.
Or we could do an out. Yeah, we could do an outtake section, like when Luke popped in last time through that door.
Yeah.
Which I didn't recognize last time, but it's because we're in the same studio. So which he did do. Like, hey, you guys come to the pub? That was pretty random.
Have to derail a conversation.
Like, we're still live on air. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Things are different. The BBC people must be sort of turning in their graves.
The Archers taught as well. Made in Birmingham.
Do you know when it is? Yeah. Do you know when for some reason, I don't know the plot lines of it very much, but occasionally one of the families moved to France, and when an episode, I'm not lying, when an episode that's focused on the French one, it's the same theme tune, but it's all played on an accordion, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think they've stopped doing it now. That was years ago. Oh,
right. So the next bit of the outro is.
I'm speaking as well. Not quite as sort of as extravagant as going to Tokyo. No, it's not even Tokyo you're going to. Sorry, is it? It's Yokohama. I'm going to London. So I'm speaking London. I'm speaking at PHP UK, which is on the workshops are on the 14th, and I got invited to the speakers' dinner by the organisers, who said, "Hey Jim, the speakers' dinner is at Cote in Barbican on the 14th of February. Do you want to come?" And I said, "No, I don't want to die." I think it was just bad timing. But anyway, the 14th is the workshops, then it's the 15th and 16th.
Yeah.
Last year, because of the storm that happened and the fact that we haven't recovered from COVID, like it was about 150 people. It was so quiet. This year, I can already smell the buzz, and it's getting back to I reckon it's going to be good 500 to 600 people. Yeah. So it's going to be
because I know it's super cool. 1,000, but it's not going to fill.
It never gets to 1,000, but that should be pretty good. So if you want to sort of if you want to troll me in person, then you can. Okay. If someone comes up to me and says, "I listen to your podcast," I will eat my hat, and I have no hat. I will eat.
He will eat your hat, ladies and gentlemen.
Your hat. And the last thing is Fusion.
Oh yeah, we don't have tickets out yet, so I can't. Oh, there we go. Sorry, we don't have tickets out yet, so we can't exactly tell you where to go and buy them to come and watch it. But they should be out sometime in the next few weeks because of when it's happening. Well, next couple of weeks if I pester Hannah hard enough in the face. There'll be a Fusion on March 23rd at the studio in central Birmingham.
Do you want to host it?
Pardon?
Do you want to host it?
Well, I can't do a worse job than you.
Whee! Good news! I'm going to be in Frankfurt the next day, so I basically can't do it.
Okay, so I'm going to have to do it and run the stream. Excellent.
You can't do, but Vickery can do the stream. That'd be fine.
Yeah, not on my laptop because if
you don't want to give him your password.
Yes,
because he'll break it.
Well, no, because unfortunately, if he has access to it, he then has access to my life.
I don't see that. That can't be a bad thing.
Hey, but yes. So thank you very much, everybody. I think this is officially the end of the Tech Off Topic podcast because I need to go tinkle.
There we go. It all boils down to urine, doesn't it?
Well, no, if you boil it down further, it then becomes nitrates.
I see. Very clever. Very clever.
There we go. But yes, so thank you very much for tuning in. Me and Jim will be around at some point in the future, but when we actually decide, hopefully in 2 weeks, we'll do another one.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Okay. But yes, otherwise, I'll see you lovely internet people in about 2 hours when I end up doing Building with Beer.
You can take up the chat, of which there's mostly trolling about me and ChatGPT and PHP trolling later, so they can pick that up later.
Oh yeah, feel free to pick up the ChatGPT stuff whilst I break things on the internet. So, thank you very much, and we'll see you all soon.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.